everyone. Are you aware that there are many types of communication if you're going to base it on mode, purpose, and context? But for today's video, we are going to talk about the different types of communication according to context. Coming up after the intro. Hi everyone! Assalamualaikum! Welcome back to my channel, The Nervous Speaker. Anyway, medyo natagalan tayo, 'di ba? Parang if I remember it right, it has been several days since we posted our first video for this year 2025. So a little bit busy in babu nyo yun. Moving on, that being said, we are going to talk about the different types of communication according to context. So if I say context, this is composite of people interacting in the communication process. Now, there are 5 types of communication according to context. And these are, number 1, intrapersonal communication. Yung intrapersonal communication, from the Latin term intra, which means inside or within. So this is referring to talking to oneself, or you're talking to yourself. Well, normally, some of us, we talk if we are a little bit scared, especially if there is an oral presentation. So we talk to ourselves to boost our confidence. Or for students like you guys who are watching right now, if you have an oral report, then before the report, you tell yourself, you reassure yourself that everything's gonna be fine. So that's self-talk, diba? Sa psychologists, they call it verbalization, or self-statement. And accordingly, when you talk to yourself, it helps now, because especially for people who lacks motivation or who lose faith in themselves, so it's really good to talk to yourself to make yourself better, feel better, or sabihin na natin, to reassure yourself that everything's gonna be okay. So yun siya. However, yung gauge doon is, yung measure is the occurrence of you talking to yourself. So pag parati mo na siyang ginagawa, if you're always doing it from time to time, ibang usapan na yun. Pero syempre, yung self-talk, minsan-minsan lang yan siya. Diba? So that is intrapersonal communication. Then moving on, yung number 2 is interpersonal communication. From the word Latin term inter, which means between and among. So this is an exchange of ideas between and among people. So yung interpersonal communication can either be between 2 persons, 2 individuals, or it can be in a small group communication, diba? Pero it is interpersonal if the objective is to deepen one's understanding of each other. But if the objective is to get something in return, then it's not interpersonal, it becomes transactional. So yun siya, klaro yun siya. So yun ang interpersonal, you talk to someone. So say for example, a student would like to talk or would like to consult with his or her teacher on certain issues or certain topics inside the classroom. So consultation hours, so yun siya, that's interpersonal. Or when you talk to your friend, that's also interpersonal. But for example, if you go to the market and you talk to a vendor over the price of, sabihin natin, fish, then that is transactional. Hindi siya interpersonal. Okay, moving on. The third type of communication, according to context, is extended communication. So, ibig sabihin ng extended communication, you are using a medium or a device that you used to communicate with another person. Example, yung cellphone na hawak mo, tablet, yung personal computer, yan. Yung mga, sabihin na natin, when you do a video conferencing, nag-video calls ka, or go-audio calls ka, or yung messenger, when you chat. So that's what you call extended communication. Ibig sabihin, you cannot communicate without this device. So, sa extended communication, it needs connectivity. So, pag malakas yung signal, then the communication is really clear. Pero if the weather is bad, it also affects communication, di ba? Especially if sabihin na natin yung area of residence mo or yung place na parang doon ka tumatawag is not really that has really good signal. So, it actually affects the flow of communication. Yun ang tawag doon is extended communication. The fourth one is organizational communication. From the word organization, right? So, if you are one of students who are watching right now, syempre, after you graduate, you will look for a job, right? So, pag meron ka ng job, then you work for a company or an institution. So, when you are part of an organization, meron na yan tinatawag dyan, organizational culture. And part of the organizational culture is the communication patterns among its employees. Now, talking of patterns, there are 4 approaches sa organizational communication. So, 4 approaches na to. Yung first is downward communication. So, ibig sabihin, yung boss, yung pinaka-head talaga ng company, is the one who issues the communication to the pinakamababang employee. So, say for example, sa MSU-TZTO, yung chancellor ng MSU-TZTO will issue a memorandum addressing MSU-TZTO constituents. So, all, lahat ng employees ng MSU-TZTO. So, that is what you call downward communication. So, from the boss down to the least, yung pinakamababang employee. Then, second is upward communication. Itong upward approach is from employee to the boss. So, say for example, sa department namin, okay? This is just an example sa department namin. If a certain faculty member will attend a certain conference, she or he will send a letter to the language chair, department chair, and then yung department chair will endorse that letter to the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences. Tapos naman yung Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences will endorse the letter to the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. So si Vice Chancellor naman will endorse that letter to the Office of the Chancellor for approval. So yung pinakamataas yun ang mga approve. So it's more like endorsement, and then approval. Ang tawag sa ganun, upward communication. The third approach is horizontal communication. Yung horizontal communication, this is actually lateral, which means this is a communication among people of the same level or of the same unit. So say for example, sa language department namin ng MSU-TZTO, yung language chair will issue a memo addressing the faculty members of the language department for a certain, like say for example, merong outreach program ng department. So, yun. So, yung communication na yun is just for the faculty members of the language department. So, ang tawag sa ganun, horizontal approach. Ang pinaka-last approach is yung vertical approach. This means that a communication from one unit to another unit. Which means, again, gagamitin ko yung MSU-TZTO. For example, yung College of Education will send yung dean nila will send a letter to the Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences requesting that the language department faculty member will handle a certain subject doon sa isang, for example, sa isang program nila. So, yun. So, mag-endorse siya from a different unit, the College of Education, to another unit, College of Arts and Sciences. Ang tawag sa ganun, vertical approach. O, ayan. Now, there are many types of patterns kasi it's part of organizational culture, di ba? So, there are 2 types, yung formal and informal sa organizational communication. Yung formal, yun na yun yung 4 approaches. Ang informal, yun na yun ang chismis. Di ba kung minsan, for example, chismis ngayon, di ba? Na, meron na bang notice of salary adjustment for 2025? So, yung mag-chismis, yung staff ng HR, doon sa isang staff ng college, kunyari, College of Arts and Sciences. Tapos yung staff naman from the Office of the Dean magchichismis naman sa faculty member ng language. Tapos yun na. So, that's an informal communication. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya legit, di ba? Hindi siya documented. So, yun siya, guys. Again, sa communication is, it depends sa organizational culture. Kasi kung minsan, merong isang organization na hindi sila masyadong formal, parang verbal lang talaga. But, mas maganda siguro pag meron talagang documents, kumbaga, it is documented talaga. Especially pag ang communication will affect other people. So, yun. Pinaka-last type of communication, according to context, is the intercultural communication. Intercultural, ibig sabihin, between and among cultures. So, if you talk about culture, which means that you talk to someone who has a different culture than yours. So, you need to consider, hindi lang yung culture niya, yung background niya, yung educational attainment, kasali na rin dyan yung gender. Diba? Kasi iba rin kasi yung interest ng babae sa lalaki. So, these are the things that you need to consider in your communication. So, yun siya guys, ang types of communication according to context. Why do we need to study this? Because the way you talk to people should be based on the context of your communication para mas magkakaintindihan kayo, para walang confusion, di ba? Anyway, so that's it guys. If you are new to this channel, then don't forget to click that subscribe button if you like what you have just heard and if you want to know more about effective communication. And to all my dear subscribers, thank you so much for sticking with us till this time. Ayan, thank you so much guys for watching and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Bye!